Hey, if you're looking to create a set of financial projections for an urgent care or walk-in clinic, then you've come to the right place. We have built a financial projection template built specifically for urgent cares, walk-in clinics, to help you raise capital from investors and lenders. So if your lender or investors ask you for your projections, then this template's going to be perfect for you. So I'm going to walk you through how the template works, how to fill it out. But first, I just want to mention that if you stick around to the end of the video, we are going to give you access to a discount code as a thank you to be able to buy this template with a discount at checkout. So you'll also be able to get access to this template by clicking the link in the description of the video below. So you'll have a link directly to this template so you can grab that template and follow along. And before I dive into the details of this spreadsheet, just a little bit of background on me. My name's Adam Huxama. I'm the co-founder of ProjectionHub. I built ProjectionHub because I had spent about a decade as an SBA lender, a small business administration lender, where we made small business loans to all sorts of different businesses. And we often asked our clients for financial projections. And this was always a tough part of the process for our clients, getting their numbers right, getting them in order, and making sense of them. And so we built ProjectionHub to help solve that problem. And so today we have about 100 different industry-specific projection templates for all sorts of different industries, business types. And today I'm really excited to walk through this new urgent care clinic template. So with that, let's go ahead and dive in. So after you have filled out the whole template, this is kind of the end of the process. You're going to come to this at a glance tab where you'll get to see lots of different charts and graphs and tables that will be useful to throw into your business plan or a pitch deck for investors. You're also going to get a 5-year income statement summary, a 5-year cash flow summary, 5-year balance sheet, and then your income statement, cash flow, and balance sheet reports all broken down by month. So you get the monthly level detail as well as the kind of higher level annual summary detail. Now, in order to produce these reports, we have a little bit of work to do. And so we're going to come back to our input assumptions tab here. And the first thing you need to know is that every cell that's highlighted in blue throughout the model is an assumption that you can change without breaking anything in the model. So we have our urgent care here, and we're going to start this on January 1st. And we have a personal investment we're going to make of $80,000 on month 1, meaning at the beginning of the model. So we're going to assume this is a startup urgent care. And so we have opening cash balance of 0 because this is a brand new startup. So we're investing the $80,000 plus down here, you'll see we are going to get a startup loan as well for $350,000 in month 1 at an 8% interest rate over a 120-month or a 10-year term. Now, we're going to use the loan funding for our fixed assets. So we're going to assume that maybe we're going to rent an office, but the office needs maybe some significant renovations or improvements to get it ready. So we're going to put in $100,000 here for leasehold improvements. And we've got a 15-year life expectancy on that. So typically what you want to do here for renovations or leasehold improvements, you want to tie the life expectancy to the lease term. So in this case, if it was a 10-year lease, we'd want to put 10 years in here. So we're going to assume it's a long-term 15-year lease. And so these improvements are going to be amortized over the life of that lease. Again, that's also going to hit in month 1. So at the beginning of the model, all of this kind of the investment and the loan is all coming in, and all the kind of startup expenses are all happening kind of at the beginning of the model. And so we'll then look at the model as kind of an operational model. So once we have the business up and running, what are the financials going to look like? So we'll also have medical equipment and furniture and fixtures here as fixed assets as well. Now, just a couple other points up here to point to your attention. Accounts payable. We're saying that 80% of our accounts payable we're paying in the month the expense was incurred, 20% in 30 days. So this could be, for example, like your utility bill. Maybe you get your utility bill, you have 30 days to pay it. So that's an example of an expense that, can be pushed out for a month. On the accounts receivable side, we are going to assume that it's going to take 30 days to collect payment for services. So this is a really important assumption for you. If you're billing through insurance, then, there can be delays with that. And so you need to estimate of all of your sales. So you might have some folks that pay in cash up front at the time of service or with credit card, and some may pay, through insurance, and that could be delayed. And so kind of you need the blended average of how long is it going to take you to get paid, and put that number of days in here. And then you'll probably have some basic inventory here. So I've got $5,000 worth of initial inventory and 10% of inventory carried on hand as a percentage of sales. So this is just, we're just carrying this inventory and it'll stay on the balance sheet throughout the model. All right, so now let's jump over to our input revenue tab. So what we're going to assume here for patient acquisition is a $3,000 a month advertising budget with a cost to acquire a new patient visit of $30. So $3,000 worth of ads would drive 100 new patients from paid ads. And then we're going to also assume patient visits from just word of mouth or Google search. So, somebody searches, urgent care near me, or urgent care in my particular city. And we think, over time, hopefully your clinic will show up in Google search results and just the word of mouth from good customer service. So this will then allow us to calculate the number of patient visits per month that we expect at the clinic. Next, we need to kind of get into, okay, what are these patients coming for? What are the different categories of service? And then the specific, types of services that we offer. You can select the category here. So you say, okay, this, we've got injury visit with an x-ray and injury visit without an x-ray, both considered in the injury visit category, right? And then you can set your average fee for each of these services, supply costs. So if there's any material costs or just kind of, cleaning supplies or gloves or masks, those sorts of things would be listed here. And then from there, we're going to say, okay, we're kind of breaking down what these patients are visiting for. So we're saying the average number of times this service is purchased per customer visit. So if we have 350 visitors in a month, we're saying 0.5 of those, or 50% of those 350 are there for an illness visit. 10% for an injury with an x-ray, 20% injury without an x-ray, 0.25 for lab services, 0.25 for vaccination. Now, it could be, you'll notice that this adds up to more than 100%, more than one. That's because somebody could come for an illness visit and then also need, maybe some tests. And so you'd have some lab services, lab tests there as well, testing for, the flu or whatever it might be. And then from there, you'll put in your average percent of fee reimbursement that you expect. So here's your fee. What do you actually expect to get paid? We're assuming 80% of that sticker price, and that will allow us to calculate total revenue here. So moving on to our other operating expenses here, we have the ability to enter in different expenses. We'll see the ad spend is grayed out because that's already being pulled in from the input revenue tab. You'll notice you have the ability to enter in expenses either as a fixed dollar amount, so the same dollar amount every month, or a percentage of revenue. Insurance could be a good example of something that should be an expense that would be as a percentage of revenue. As you increase your revenue, increase your sales, increase the number of doctors on staff, and so forth, your insurance cost is likely to go up and kind of in lockstep with that. And so we set that as a percentage, 0.025, in other words, 2.5% of total revenue for our insurance cost. All right, so let's look at our salaries tab. So here we have the ability to enter in different salaried staff position. So let's say we're going to start with one doctor, and we've got in the doctor category here from the dropdown. We're saying initially the minimum salary is going to be $50,000. And we've got the month started as month 1 and month ending for this doctor at month 24. And then you'll notice that Doctor 1, after year 2, so starting in month 25 here, there's also a second doctor hired in month 25. So now the practice has 2 doctors starting in month 25 through the end of the model, the 60-month model here. And the reason this is important is because this relates to this kind of variable compensation or bonus structure. So we're going to assume that, the doctor's going to get a certain minimum salary here. But then they're also going to earn a percentage of their production. So we're saying that they're going to earn 20%. Initially here, this doctor is going to earn 20% of their production. And in the first 2 years, this single doctor is responsible for 100% of production. So they're going to receive a 20% bonus once they cover their initial salary. So basically what the model is going to do is take 50,000, divide by 12 to come up with a monthly amount. And then once the doctor's generated at least that much in sales, then above and beyond that, anything above and beyond that, the doctor is going to get a 20% commission there. So that's how that structure should work. And you'll be able to see also you have the ability to add in part-time staff or full-time RNs or nurses. You can set them as medical staff, and you can also add general admin staff like office managers, front desk, and so on. And you can see that we kind of layer in these folks over time as the practice grows. So that is really the end of the input section of the model. And so really at this point, you're kind of back to where we started. You can see the bottom line here, what your projected net income looks like, and some key ratios and data points. We want to then come back to this input assumptions tab. We want to look at this green box. So this green box is going to help us determine if we have enough cash to cover the business until we break even. So what the model is saying here is that it thinks you need $240,000 to start, and that's coming from a couple different places. It's saying that you need $35,000 worth of working capital to cover the first couple months while you kind of scale up and to reach a break-even point. You also need $175,000 for these fixed assets right here. Plus you need $30,000 just as a buffer. We want to have a buffer. So that all totals to $240,000. Well, since you've invested $80,000 plus $350,000 in loans, you have $430,000 in cash. So you have plenty of cash here to weather the storm in case it takes longer to reach that break-even point. So this is something that you'll want to come back to after you've entered all your assumptions. You want to come and take a look at this table and make sure that it says starting cash is sufficient. So if you have any questions about how to fill this out, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at support@ProjectionHub.com. And again, as a thank you for sticking around to the end of the video, if you go down to the description of the video below, you'll find a link to a form. You can click that form and fill it out, and we're going to email you our most up-to-date coupon code so you can get a discount on this particular template as our thank you for sticking around to the end. And again, if you have any questions, need help filling the model out, we're here and available, so just reach out at support@ProjectionHub.com. Thanks.